Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Eric from Oukitel. The good people at Banggood has sent me yet another awesome product, and this time it's the Oukitel WP15 5G phone. And this is not just any standard Android phone. This is one of the most rugged smartphone that you can get right now. So really interested in opening this up and putting it through some tests and see how well this phone holds up and how well designed this rugged smartphone is. So let's get this unboxing started. So this box actually reminds me of the Red Magic unboxing experience, because instead of a rectangular box, it's more of a square and flat box. So in front you've got the Oukitel name, 5G branding, and at the back you've got some key specifications. So right off the bat, it says that it comes with Google Apps and Google Chrome. So this means that the Google Play Store and Google services are working just fine on this phone. So there is no need to sideload install the Google Play Store. It actually has a 6.517 HD plus display, and you've got a couple more specifications. And just by carrying the box, I can tell that this is a pretty heavy phone. Okay, slides off pretty easily. Seems to be a protective layer of foam right at the top. Let's remove this. And we're greeted with the contents of the box. Here on the right side, you've got the phone itself. But before we pick up the phone, you've got the standard USB-C to USB-A charging cable. And you've got a charging brick. So this seems to be an 18-watt fast charger. And based on what I'm seeing here, the phone has a 15,600 mAh battery. So with just an 18-watt charging brick, I'm definitely curious to find out how long it's going to take to charge this phone once you finally get it to empty. So let's put that aside and let's see what else is in here. We got the manual here, 18-watt fast charger, and the contents of the box. So pretty much standard stuff. They've got the warranty certificate. And of course, you've got the SIM ejector tool. And this is the phone. Nothing else in the box. So since this is a rugged smartphone, I don't think it's going to be needing a case. It's already big enough without a case. And I doubt there is any case especially made for this kind of phone. So phone is pretty hefty. Pretty heavy, guys, to be honest. This is most definitely due to the extremely large battery that is contained in this rugged smartphone. You've got the branding here, Oukitel WP15. It does have 5G global bands, and you've got 48 megapixel cameras. This phone actually has 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. You've got the battery right there, 15,600 mAh. It is running Android 11, does have fingerprint unlock. It is IP68, IP69K, and it actually passed the military standard 810G. And it has NFC support. So let's discuss the build and design. So as you can tell, just by looking at it, it is a pretty rugged smartphone, and just by holding it, I definitely feel that it can survive a couple drops here and there. So it's pretty thick, as you can see. So on the right side, you've got the volume up and volume down and your power button right there. And at the left side, I've got this different colored button. Here, you've got the SIM tray. It's actually covered by a rubber stopper. So this is going to help with water protection, and you've got the SIM tray right there. Seems to be a pretty unique looking SIM ejector tool. So let's push that open. And I guess they thought of everything, guys. There is a bit of a hook, if you can see there. It's actually to pull the SIM card out. So you navigate it like so, and then pull up. Because there's really no way for your nails to fit inside, because it's pretty recessed there in the case. So you need this specific ejector tool in order to get that SIM tray open. So it is dual SIM, but it does have a hybrid slot. You can still put in a micro SD card if you want to increase storage on this thing. And since it only has 128 GB, having this option to add an additional micro SD card slot is definitely a good thing. And there you go. And at the bottom, where we're expecting the charging port, it does say Type C on that rubber flap. So you just need to pull that open. And there you've got your Type C charging port. So it looks to be more of a standard Android setup here. Let me zoom in for you guys. So let's start. I didn't put in a SIM card yet, so let's skip this. And this is the first look at the home screen of the Oukitel WP15. It does actually remind me a bit of the Black Shark phones because of the wallpaper. I guess on a rugged phone, can't really expect a high frame rate on the display. See, this seems to be just 60 Hz. So let's go to the setting, guys. Does it have a dark mode? Does it have a dark theme? So even though we're using a dark theme, this is not an AMOLED display, so it's not going to be saving you that much battery life. This is an IPS in-cell display. So before I go ahead and start testing out the phones, let's go through some of the key specifications again. So this is a 6.517-inch HD Plus display running at a resolution of 1600 by 720. Aspect ratio is 18 by 9 and the pixel density is a very respectable 270 ppi. The screen brightness is around 400 nits, which isn't too bad, and of course the contrast is a bit low because it's not an AMOLED display. In terms of chipset, the Oukitel WP15 uses a MediaTek Dimensity 700 chip. So it is pretty mid-range in terms of performance, but it should do the job well enough. It does have 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, but not really sure what type of UFS storage is being used on the Oukitel WP15. Now in terms of the camera, guys, it does say that it has a 48 megapixel rear camera. So you've got a 2 megapixel macro lens, it says here macro, and you've got a 0.3 megapixel bokeh camera, and you've got your main 48 megapixel Sony IMX582. It is a Sony camera and your front camera is also from Sony. One of the key features of this phone is that it has IP68 rating, IP69K, and military standard 8110G. So what does IP68 mean? That means it's waterproof up to 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes. So that's pretty standard if you're talking about iPhones and your latest Samsung flagship. But one of the advantages that this phone has is that it has IP69K. So that means it's dust proof. So you can drop it in sand. So if you use it on a beach, you don't have to worry about any of that sand getting into the phone and messing up with the internals. So what does the military standard 8110G actually mean? It means that this is a shock resistant phone. Oukitel is saying that it can survive a drop from up to 1.5 meters. And as usual, like I usually do on my video, let's test out the sound on this thing. Seems to be just a single downward firing speaker. Alright guys, so it does get pretty loud. Putting the phone on the table actually amplifies the sound. Would have actually wanted a stereo setup, but for the price that you're going to pay for this phone, I don't think there's too much to complain, guys. One of the main selling points of this phone is its extremely large 15,600 mAh battery. And Oukitel is actually claiming that you can go 4 days without needing to charge this phone once you take it out of the charger. So let's run a quick Antutu benchmark test on this. Let's zoom up a bit so you can get a better look. Alright guys, test is done. Not too bad. 318,190. Temperature didn't go too high, 33.9 degrees, and it actually lost just 1% battery life. So that is pretty awesome, guys. Alright guys, so going into the settings, you do have high refresh rate and set the graphics to ultra by default. So I think that means this phone can actually max out the performance on Mobile Legends.
side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow. Us to thousands, and we'll grow in number. Few turn us to thousands, and on we'll go.
Alright guys, so the phone successfully passes all those tests and it's still alive and kicking. So I guess one of the questions that you guys might be asking is, who is the target audience for these kinds of phones? Well, in my opinion, for those people who are on the go, who like to go camping a lot, and more of an outdoors kind of person will definitely appreciate what this Oukitel WP15 phone has to offer. Not only does it have an IP68 rating as well as an IP69K rating, it also has a military standard 810G certification. It should handle pretty much whatever you're going to be throwing at the phones. And if you couple that with the extremely large 15,600 mAh battery, then you've got a phone companion that will last you a good 4 days without needing to recharge. So let me know if you guys want to see more of these types of reviews, because for this video I really enjoyed making it. So with that said, let me know if this Oukitel WP15 rugged phone is a piece of tech that you guys want to get. But until then, a sub would be massively appreciated. Please like and subscribe, hit that bell icon notification, and see you all on my next one.